8 seconds. Charles Barkley. Johnson around his man. Drives. He scores. So Lamar Jackson. 6-point game. Stoudemire scores. Rejected. What a defensive effort that time. And Crowder looking for the alley-oop. He puts it down. Kevin Durant. Break it out here. With the long one, won't get it. Long rebound. Finds Booker. This is going in.
Hello, and welcome to the Suns Planet podcast, where fans from around the globe try to bring together all of Suns Planet. We are now part of the ASAP Sports Network, all sports, all plays. And today we're bringing in France with Hicham. I hope I said that correctly. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, yes, you did, my man. You did.
Great.
It's actually, Hicham. Call me Easy if you want.
Easy.
One of my names on Twitter, better known as Mbappe for MVP, for guys who know me for a while, for a few years that I have been on Twitter. And excuse my English. I hope it's not too bad. French is my first language, of course. So
you sound better than most of us Aussies, brother. So it's all good.
Hamill, you stole my joke. I was going to say, Easy, you already sound better than the Aussies do. I understand you 10 times clearer.
Right up.
Oh, I don't think so. Aussies are great. Great people.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm your host, Sundress Dunks, and I am mentally exhausted. The season has barely begun, but we've lost 4 out of 5, and I am drained. But my partners are with me. Hamo, welcome back. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Sorry, guys. But, not too bad. Pretty early over here. It's very busy at work at the moment. So it's trying to do the best that we can to get the most up-to-date and important information out to you guys.
Absolutely. And Jake, you look like you're getting in the groove there. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, we had the great United Kingdom on recently and a couple weeks ago. And, you know, I didn't have beans and toast, but I did have some Old Pecker or whatever the beer is called from England. And so now I'm having a Les Solistes Têtus, Le Grand Noir, Pinot Noir, or also just it says wine from France. So that's what we're drinking, because I feel like that's what Mbappe would drink, you know. And honestly, I'm sure everyone agrees. After this week, I'm gonna have a lot of this.
No, you definitely should.
All right, Mbappe. I don't know how authentic he is with his drugstore wine there, but
whoa! This cost $13, sir, which means it's absolute table wine in France.
He at least made the effort. I
at least made sure it was actually from the country of France. That's the important thing, because I almost made the mistake with the Aussies, and then we had the Brits actually point out to us that Foster's isn't even an Australian beer. The Americans have been lied to for years. It's actually a beer made in the United Kingdom.
And it's horrible.
It is horrible.
Yeah, I've got some wine. I should have brought it out. I'm not sure if it's from France or not, but got some macaroons in the fridge. You know, I love French desserts, creme brulee, crepes, but I'm not really sure what else you guys eat over there.
Yeah,
maybe you should give me some tips.
Easy. Tell these gentlemen how fantastic escargot can be.
Oh man, those are great.
You put enough garlic butter on anything, it becomes very delicious. You don't even know you're eating snails at that point.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite dishes, actually. I really love it, and tons of things in France that you can enjoy in terms of food. Uh, Maybe if we have time at the end of the podcast, I can share with you and maybe with your audience if you want a joke. I've just been sent by a friend, and man, it was hilarious. It involves France and other European countries. So yeah, whenever you want to hear it, if you want to, I will tell you that joke.
Absolutely. We'll have some Q&A with Mbappe later in the show, and he can definitely jump in with that anytime he wants. It's been a frustrating week for the Suns this week. We technically went 1-2. We got a win last Saturday versus Memphis right after the podcast. I barely remember what happened. It seems like years ago. I know Book and KD were healthy, and they were phenomenal. Nurk played well, so we actually won a game. But any good vibes from that came to a crashing halt with a loss in the in-season tournament to the Lakers, who we are now 0-3 against. So, Mbappe, if you have anything to say about the Memphis game, feel free. But otherwise, just tell us, how frustrating was that Lakers game?
Quick thought about the Memphis game, our last win, and pretty one overall with a typical D-book game with the points and assists and leadership. So it was a good game. After that, there was this very disappointing loss to the Lakers for many fans because it really feels like we've been kind of screwed by the officials during the game in terms of the acceptance of physicality from the Lakers towards the Suns, but not the other way around. It really felt like anytime the Suns would just touch the Lakers players, and the official would get a reason to whistle, they do it. So it feels like really there's some kind of do you say in English favoritism? I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. So and then at the end,
It sounds
of the,
better when you say it. Easy. It sounds better when you say it than when we say
yeah.
it.
Okay, we have the same word in French, so favoritism, and really it feels like this all the time with certain teams, and especially the Lakers. And then at the end of the game, that blown whistle. I mean the mistake made by the ref to call a timeout for a team that doesn't have possession of the ball at the time the timeout is asked by a player, namely LeBron James. That was very disappointing to lose that way. It's not it doesn't mean that the Suns didn't shoot themselves in the foot like they often do since the start of the season, because they did against the Lakers, and then we'll talk about it yesterday against the Kings. But disappointing loss against the Lakers. Really disappointing. Do you want me to talk about the how do you say the reason
the Kings game?
No, the Lakers game. Do you want to go further with the pluses, the minuses, and why we didn't handle that game the way we could have against a good team at home? In Los Angeles, or do you want to keep it maybe for another discussion?
No, that's fine. We definitely, put ourselves in that position. It wasn't completely the refs. So, yeah, if you want to talk a little bit about just the turnovers and why we got in that position at the end, feel free to go ahead with that.
Yeah, the turnovers have been the real issue since the start of the season for this team. And personally, I feel like this team is full of finishers, but has a lack of creators. We have D-Book, we have a little bit KD, a little bit of Eric Gordon or Grayson Allen or Jordan Goodwin, but it's clearly not enough in terms of offensive creation. We really like that, and I think I can talk on behalf of many fans in France, Paris, where I live, and who I've been talking to since the start of the not only the season or the preseason, but even the off season. We are talking a lot about our beloved teams. I mean, we'll get to talk about that also, but yeah, there's a real great NBA fan base in general in France, and there's a fan base. There's a Suns fan base here, a strong one. But
Excellent. And so you're in Paris, and that's how you say it. You don't say Paris.
Paris, of course. If I have to talk in my Latin language, yeah, I would say Paris for sure. So in Paris, yeah, there are many NBA fans. I think basketball is the second most popular sport right now in France. I don't have the statistics or anything official, but the feeling of that is that soccer is definitely number one and should stay at that place because, yeah, soccer is at the place it is right now, and it won't change for sure. It's like American football in your country. So yeah, American football is like it's the main sport when the season is on.
It's
in
the
US.
king, yeah. And
Yeah.
thank you for trying to fit in with us silly Americans and calling it soccer and not football. You know, we appreciate you trying to fit in here.
I try to. So basketball is definitely the number. I think it's definitely the number two, but I'm not certain. But yeah, there's tennis, rugby, and other sports for sure. But really, basketball has taken a place that it didn't have 15, 20, 25 years ago. I remember I was young when I started to follow the NBA and play basketball. It didn't have the aura that it has right now among the youth, especially. Like they really love the NBA and they support their teams sometimes to a fault. I mean, you know how it is with the internet
Yeah.
now.
And it's definitely a global game for sure. And you know, the Lakers are a global team. It seems like everybody follows and loves the Lakers, including the refs. Jake, what did you see out of that Lakers game?
Well, yeah, I'll put it this way. For the Grizzlies game, glad we won that one. Again, another kind of must win. You got to win against teams that are underperforming, that don't have their firepower. You have to finish those games, and we did. The rest of the week, Lakers especially, it just felt like a lot of what we've seen, the inability to take care of the basketball, and like Easy was saying, it's just we don't have the true point guards. I don't know if that's still going to be necessary, but until Beal comes back, you need additional ball handlers on the court with you, because a lot of times it's just Booker, to a degree Durant, to a degree a Grayson Allen, but the ball stops a lot, and if it doesn't stop, it goes back out to kind of reset the plays. And we I like what Izzy said. We have a lot of finishers, we have a lot of slashers, and a lot of shooters. But I mean, we grew up, watching the Steve Nash era of him driving hard to the basket, coming back out around behind the basket, and then dropping it in for a pass to Amari for a slam dunk. I mean, we're used to guys penetrating and not just sitting at the top of the key. I mean, that's like grade school basketball, right? Okay, point guard, you bring it up past half court, and then you pass it to the left or to the right, and one of those guys passes it to the center, and that's how the offense is set. Obviously the Suns are professionals. They're doing more than that, but you can sense that when Booker's off the court, it's harder for them to move away from that kind of stratagem. And so it was frustrating, but and I'm one of those people that's usually, like, don't blame the field goal kicker if he misses the last second field goal. Don't get mad at the guy for missing, a wide open shot at the very end, if that's what cost you the game. But that play, man, to me, it wasn't just that play. It was, I felt like we were getting just pushed around a lot. and the fouls just weren't coming like they should have been. I understand now that it was not a take foul, because I guess I did not know this about take fouls. It's not a take foul if it's the last 2 minutes,
Right.
because they want to allow people to be able to force the opponent to the free throw line. So that makes sense. But yeah, it felt very much like you know how in the playoffs they say, well, the refs are probably going to let them play a little bit more. It should have been one of those deals, because it very much reminded me of when we were very frustrated with, I think it was the Spurs, when KD got like poked in the eye as he was holding it, trying to get fouled for free throws. Instead, they just smacked him real hard and he lost the ball, and they came down and scored it and won the game. And we're like, where's the foul? And they're like, well, the refs let him play. The play-in tournament should have been a time to let them, or not the play-in tournament, the in-season tournament should have been time to let them play, and they didn't. And that's what's frustrating. So, and the excuses that we heard from the refs, they made the call. Then afterwards, they interviewed them. They said, we shouldn't have made that call. Then the last 2 minutes report came out and said the call was correct. It seemed like a lot of, well, let's put it this way. When Skip Bayless, one of the top talking heads for sports in the country, comes on and goes, yep, Suns got screwed. They usually don't know where the Phoenix Suns actually are, like, even based at. So the fact that they were able to point that out, that it's unnecessary. So as for the in-season tournament, really wanted to win that sucker. I thought that would have been amazing. But all I can say now is go Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers.
Absolutely. I hope they take out the Lakers. Go ahead, Easy.
Yeah. I just say let's go to the Pacers. Definitely 100% behind Halliburton and the Pacers for sure. I like this team actually. That's like one of these side teams that I follow with a certain affection. And since last year, I think they really are beating something over there in Indiana, and I really hope they will prevail against the Lakers. I hope so. So yeah, I said go Pacers tonight. You have another fan.
Absolutely, they're fun, and Halliburton should have been a Sun, so it's kind of painful for me to watch him doing.
Imagine him on this team right now. Oh my gosh. We'd have so few turnovers and so many assists.
We would have screwed up and traded him years ago.
Stop it, Hamo. Don't bring that negativity in here.
I remember Thunderous being vigorously for the drafting of Tyrese Halliburton back then, like crazy.
Izzy's got receipts for you, Keith.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for remembering that. I thought he should have been top 3 in that draft. I really didn't think he would fall past 5 or 6. When he fell to 9, I was amazed and ecstatic. I thought for sure we were drafting him. I was like screaming in happiness. And then we drafted some guy named Jalen Smith. And then I started screaming in anger. I was so shocked. I'd never been so upset during a draft. It's like, James Jones, what are you doing? Halliburton was such an obvious pick. And it's still just so frustrating. It's like the biggest what if ever, Some people say Luka, drafting Ayton over Luka is the biggest draft blunder or what if, but to me it's Halliburton for sure. We should have had him. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he was trying to go somewhere else and didn't want to go to the Suns, but he's a rookie. He hasn't played a game yet in the NBA. He can't control where he's going to go. You just pick the guy, you figure it out later. And they definitely screwed that one up.
Yeah, the implications of the 2020 draft on the team is huge. I mean, if someone take a look at it, like the how do you say the consequences of that bad call to draft Jalen Smith back then in front of Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, even Desmond Bane and others. There were other players, really good players. It had huge implications actually, because had we drafted Halliburton or Tyrese Maxey, maybe that NBA Finals is not the same, because you have that third guard that really can take over when Chris Paul and Devin Booker have to sit on the bench. and take a rest. I mean, it could really have had huge consequences on the near and more long-term future. So that's a shame, but yeah, maybe it's all for another day.
For sure. We might have won the title if we'd actually drafted Halliburton. We'll never know. But now we lost the tournament that we were just participating in, the in-season tournament. So, Hamo, what did you see out there with that Lakers game?
How do I do this without swearing and sounding like I'm on the Aussies pod? That was frustrating. That was very frustrating. The narrative was written. You can call me a conspiracy theorist. You can call me a, whatever you want to say, because our team lost, and I'm just going to say whatever I'm going to say. But the narrative was written, man. That was written when this tournament was created. It's LeBron's. It's always going to be LeBron's until he's not around anymore. Well, less script, as me and my mates are calling him at the moment.
Le script, okay.
Le script, yeah. Look, that kind of jazz really pisses me off, man. Clearly, we're out there, we're balling our asses off, man. We got some bad calls, and just it's been a crappy week. It really has. I was really looking forward to finally sit down and watch a game yesterday, because I'm normally at work when all these games are happening, and I felt gypped. I just felt gypped. I don't know. Hopefully this week's a lot better.
Yeah, we'll see. With the Lakers game, we put ourselves in a position to have the game stolen from us, and it was, it's hard to win a game where you take 27 fewer shots, but we almost did. That was easily one of the worst calls I've ever seen. Players that don't have the ball shouldn't even be able to call a timeout. They should change that rule. If it was someone other than LeBron, I don't know if they would have even given him that. But, and then they don't even review it. They take 10 minutes in another game to review every little call. And this affected the outcome. Grayson's probably going to get a layup there to tie the game, and they won't even review it. They won't come together and say, oh, is that an inadvertent whistle? Did I call it too fast? It was blatantly obvious. And then they come out and they gaslight us with this 2-minute report. And basically it's psychological warfare, with the abuser sitting up there on the stand and saying, I did not hit you. I was
Let it
right.
out, Keith.
You were
Let
wrong.
it out, Keith.
Exactly.
Someone poked the bear.
It's so frustrating. Get rid of the last 2-minute report.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least they have given a jumper, at least.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all they could have done after they blew the whistle. You can't go back, obviously, and give Grayson the ball. But, yeah, they've got to come together and figure out that was not the right call. And then the 2-minute report, I just don't get it at all. But, there was one bright spot of the game. He had 21 points, possibly his best game as a Sun. This guy right here.
Can you be scary? Oh, I know you're asking me. Can I be scary? What do you think of this?
I'm Grayson Allen.
Good old Grayson.
Doesn't matter how many times you see it, it's coming. They're our drops.
That and the Sub-Zero one now are like my current two favorites of just like,
oh man,
the volume switch and just everything. The tonal shift is, can I be scared? What do you think of this? Grayson Allen. Just the sharpness. It cuts through perfectly.
Yeah, major props to Josh on that one. That is a great drop for sure. But one of the most annoying parts of this loss is after everyone was coming at Book and talking about him in elimination games. His stats in 3 previous playoff elimination games are 14 points a game, 5 assists, 2.3 rebounds, all losses. Now you have him not playing well in the in-season tournament. which sort of is an elimination game, but not really. A lot of people are saying that Devin Booker cannot get it done on the big stage when it counts. Hicham, do you think that's true about Devin Booker?
Yeah, facts are facts. So for sure,
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah, he hasn't been good in many elimination games these last few years. He's been good on some critical games. You think about the Lakers, for instance, in the first round of 2001. He had that 46 or 47, I don't remember, point piece in game 6, if I'm correct. Like it was an elimination game actually, because that was the series clincher for the Suns. So yeah, he had some good games. I don't remember any specific games against the Nuggets or the Clippers, that 2001 campaign, but I think he had some good games too to eliminate both those teams. Yeah, and then there are the stinkers. The stinkers are against the Mavs in 2022, and then last year against the Nuggets. He really wasn't good at all in that game 6 at home. So yeah, there are some stinkers out there, but I wouldn't say that Booker isn't clutch, because each and every time it was a team thing. I mean, Booker is the head of the snake, so he has to be good. He has to prevail and show the way and lead for sure. So he didn't do that part of his job in those games, and I think the criticism was fair towards him after those bad games. But then you look at the team and you see that no player has really shown up against the Mavs in 22, against the Nuggets last year. I mean, we remember that beside one game from Landry Shamet where he had that, I don't know, 30 point or something like that game. He had a good game against the Nuggets. I don't remember which game it was. I think it was maybe game 4 at home or game 3. Anyway, beside that, the role players didn't play their part. So we can't blame Book too much neither, but he has to take the bulk of the blame, because he's the leader of the team and he has to show the way, and he has to show that in those very critical games he can be how do you say, he can be relied on, and yeah, so that's unfortunate, but hopefully he reversed the tide in the next time around in the playoffs, hopefully.
Yeah, we will see. And Jay in the chat doesn't seem concerned at all. He's not buying this narrative. What about you, Jake? Are you buying this at all?
Well, I see what Izzy's getting at, and I think that's true. Your best player needs to take the brunt of the criticism if you aren't winning the key games. I think that's a fair description. We're not going to sit here and be like, oh, Grayson Allen, you are costing us so many wins. Role players play roles. Your star players have to be stars. More often than not, though, I would say Booker has been a star. But we have to keep in mind a few things. That Nuggets game, there was no DA, there was no Chris Paul in that final one. I think the one against the Mavericks, I mean, find me a Suns player that was performing that night. So I think it's a little bit. Booker has that kind of. I know some people don't like to compare him to Kobe. I actually think his mannerisms remind me a lot of Kobe, of just kind of that classic scene of Matt Barnes with an inbound pass, like faking to Kobe's face, and Kobe just staring straight at him, like, "What are you going to do?"
Man,
and
he was
that reminds me a lot of Booker. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Booker. That would be his style. So when you see like a heartbreaking loss, and you see Booker just like, get him next year. That's not him being like, I didn't try. That's him, and I think that's what, like, we read a lot. Our friends over at Suns Jam, Lissy, is like the body language expert of Suns podcast, and he kind of, I remember he always would point out, DA doesn't have the body language, or someone's got to improve their body language. Booker could a little bit, and I honestly think he has this year. And I'll say a little bit. I mean, he is doing his numbers this year when playing, obviously, are phenomenal. And even, he did not shoot as efficiently as we would have liked in this Lakers game. But, you can't tell me that 11 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal and a block, and 21 points is all that bad. So, does the loss fall on our star players? It does. I was actually pretty critical of Kevin Durant in the last playoff run because I thought he was forcing too many shots. But so I think it's, when I think of who else is out there, because Jay Ness asked that great question, who else you're going to go with? And I think the NBA loves too much of like Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum. You want to talk about a guy that's not going to put the ball in the basket to win you a clutch game. It's Jason Tatum. I mean, that guy goes from semi-efficient to completely inefficient. You heard me right, Celtics fans. Your guy's a bum. I would take him on this team, though, if you I'll trade you Eubanks. No.
I'd rather take his dad.
I don't know anything about his dad. I know a lot about Luka's mom, though.
He's a coach in the NBL. He's actually the coach of the Illawarra Hawks, the team where I'm from. Justin Tatum. And I was pretty blown out myself. But I honestly, I'd take him over his son. I don't know.
This is Tatum's dad you're talking about.
Yeah, I got nothing for Tatum, bro. I'm not.
Well, and I don't think you're going to find a much better two guard in the NBA right now than Booker. And again, to back up what Izzy's saying, that doesn't mean Booker gets off the hook. He still has to perform. I think he's gotten better at it. And I tell you what, I think you see this sometimes with the pros, when I think that they kind of know a little bit more than the fans do. We kind of like the Cinderella stories, but in 7-game series, which this obviously in-season tournament was not, but in a 7-game series, you can sometimes tell when the best players know my team doesn't have enough talent to beat these other guys. And it's sad to watch sometimes because you prefer to watch, was it the Warriors that upset the Mavericks after that like 62-win season that Dirk had or something? It was like an 8th over a first seed. So, those are the ones that get remembered a little bit more. I think Books bought more in. I mean, this is the same guy. Remember, the first few years was just all offense. And then all of a sudden when his team got good, he goes, now I will exhaust myself on defense as well because there's a reason to do so. I have a chance to win if I do so. So I really think Book has turned the corner. But, Kobe wasn't perfect every game. Michael didn't win in the playoffs until Scottie showed up. So there's days where your star will miss a shot. And that's days when you need some more help.
Can only do so much. And we're asking him to fill a completely different role. When he's not, I don't think he's 100% comfortable with it.
Well, and let's also keep in mind the Lakers are full strength too.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, but we're asking him to completely retool his game, man. There's going to be teething issues.
And we've gotten a little too used to knowing that Beal's not there, or can't play, that Lee's not there, and that we're shorthanded, and we're like, why can't Book win this thing? Well, it would help if he had all of his weapons.
Yeah, and I look at the playoffs last year, up until the very end where we flamed out. Devin Booker was going toe-to-toe with Jimmy Butler for best player in the playoffs. It ended badly, but, the start was amazing. You also look at that bubble run. We basically had 8 elimination games that we had to win. We won every single one. And Devin Booker was by far the biggest part of that. Yep. He was hitting shots over 2 of the best defenders in the league like this.
That's that I took wet like I'm booked.
And Book brings the boom.
But that was over Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, 2 guys not known for defense. I mean, come on, Keith.
Not at all.
Overrated.
Oh, man, I love that shot.
Yeah.
It was put up the other day by one of the Aussies. I think, what's your favorite clutch shot in Phoenix Suns? And the Valley Oop is obviously up there. I think it might have been yourself that said Gaher or something like that. But that shot, the look on his face, man, it's like Iron Man at the end of Avengers Endgame. I can rest now. Just lays his head down. Job's done. Well done.
For sure. So we know he can do it, and hopefully we'll see it more in the playoffs going forward. But last night we had to play the Kings shorthanded. KD and Grayson were both out with short-term injuries. The Suns started well, but they ended up losing by 8. Hicham, what did you think about that Kings game last night?
Good first half and a bad second half. So the tale of two halves, and the turnovers again were our doom in the second half. A lot of missed shots. So earlier we talked about the fact that on our team there seem to be certain numbers of finishers and lack of creators. But when the finishers don't finish, and I'm thinking especially of Joshua Kogi, can't buy a shot, and that's a shame. That's a shame because he could be a very good and very useful role player, but unfortunately, he can't make his shots, especially the corner threes, and then it shows. I will make my best Matthew Lisi impersonation, but it shows in his body language. And,
there you go.
And you can see that it affects him, and he doesn't play his game. He doesn't play loosely and freely after he misses a couple of shots. I kind of sense it. I kind of feel like, he will be detrimental to the team as soon as he misses 1, 2, 3 shots. And even if he's one of our best perimeter defender, and he was last year too. But I think that overall, the pros and the cons make him expendable. I mean, you can't play 4-on-5 on offense, and it's the same with Keita Bates Diop. It feels like the same. He misses his shot. You can see that it affects his game overall, his confidence, and he becomes a liability on the court. So it becomes an automatic 4-on-5 on offense too. So I think that against the Kings, and maybe I can speak more generally about the season, but against the Kings, we could see that as soon as Booker is trapped, as soon as there's a double team, triple team on him, it's over. It's like the team cannot make up for it. The guys next to him, even Nurkic is a good passer, but for a good passer to be efficient, there has to be some IQ around him. Players who know how to move, to take the defense by surprise in cuts or pin downs or any kind of sets. For a good passer to shine, there needs to be IQ next to him, and I don't feel like there's that IQ on the team right now. There are some good shooters, some really, really good shooters. I mean, we could even tell that Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon are elite three-point shooters, a thing that we didn't have even last year. We have Yuta Watanabe, who was one of the best shooters last year. He's not this year, but it feels like he needs time to get acclimated. You say that in English?
Acclimated,
yeah.
Yeah.
Your English is killing it, bro. You're seriously much better than me.
Thanks.
Honestly, man, I can't imagine what it's like speaking that many languages. You can see you working through the words, man. You're doing a killer job.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It really boosts my confidence because, I speak English maybe twice a year or 3 times a year at most.
We're soaking it all up right now, brother. I'm loving it.
You seem pretty fluent to me. And,
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is we've had so many injuries that a lot of these role players are having to do more than they're supposed to. They're having to play more minutes. They're having to take more shots. They're having to create off the dribble. A lot of these guys, especially guys like Utah, should be spot-up shooters only. But, Hamo, he was really excited for the game. He's over there, rustling papers. Hamo, I know you've got some opinions. What did you think about last night's game?
I was just trying to find me notes, man. I haven't got that article anywhere even close to being finished.
No worries.
Look, there was a lot of good things to take away from last night. Where the hell did Chimezie Metu come from? He just showed up more or less out of nowhere. And
Well, I think, Hamo, it went something like this.
Guys, look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's
nice. He could seriously be a backup center for us, like second string. He really could. I thought what I seen from Mezzi was incredible. Nurk was out there trying so hard, and at times there it was almost hacker Nurk.
Good strategy.
Yeah, it did seem like that, but I mean, Allen was that Lakers game going back and forward between Allen and Reeves, man. There was some really cool things that went down this week, man. But it's annoying, and it's especially annoying to lose to someone like bloody Ellis when he's got a head like that. Like, who does he think he is, Ja Moran or something? Get a haircut, bro. Come on. Stop kidding yourself.
Wait,
But
who is this?
Ellis from the Kings.
Oh, Keon? I was going to say, like, I thought you were talking about like a starter or something, some random guy that plays 20 minutes for him.
No, that dude with the hair. No, look, I got lots of different notes and stuff here, man. They're all very short points, but Point of Kogi does work in certain circumstances as well.
Point of Kogi?
He was running the ball up the court.
A little bit.
Okay, but
Well, the Kings weren't really trying to stop us doing that. So
no. Look, it just been a bad week.
it has. We've lost 4 out of 5 now. So we need to talk about, are we concerned about the Suns? Let's first just talk about the injuries, give an injury update. Last night, Nas got his bell rung. He entered concussion protocol. Nurk had to get checked out for concussion protocol. He was okay. But, Nas may miss some time. Grayson Allen has a groin strain. It's unclear when he injured it. It hurts Jake over there, yeah.
Oh, groin. Ow.
It's unclear when he injured it or how much time.
We're going to get Luca's mum to rub that out for him.
As soon as she gets in the club.
That might work. That might be what we need. But KD, of course, tweaked his ankle versus the Lakers. He missed last night, may miss a bit more time. But then we finally got some good news about Bradley Beal. He's back on the court. The Suns want to stack some practices together, make sure he's good to go instead of being in, out. So we probably won't see him this week, but very soon after if there's no setbacks. So, Hicham, how concerned are you about the injuries? And are we ever going to see the big three together this season?
I can tell you on behalf of several Suns fans here in France, that many of them are very concerned about the injury parts of things and the availability of players. So I don't share the pessimism. I will explain myself. So The one I was the most worried about since last year was KD, because he came back from these pretty awful injuries that ended careers before. It shortened, in a way, Kobe's career, and it literally stopped the career of other great players before, the Achilles. So he came back from that, and he came back almost as strong as he was before. I wouldn't say as strong, because Kevin Durant was really a freak, athletic freak. So he's still very good. He's long, he's tall, he can finish, he can shoot. We know that. So he's still a very, very, very good player, and undoubtedly in the top 10 of players in the NBA, in my opinion, right now. But I wasn't too worried about Devin Booker, and I still have to see how it gets with Bradley Beal. So Beal is. I've watched a pod recently. Which one was it? I don't know. Maybe it was the Phoenix podcast, PHNX. I don't remember where they had that doctor. I think it's PHNX.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
a specialist of back injuries talked about the specifics of Beal injury. And since that interview, I kind of how do you say? I kind of took it a little bit easier with the Bradley Beal situation, because I was really scared. Like, he had that back issue that seems to last. It's been going for several years now, and he may be on the decline, and won't be able to sustain consistent minutes on the court in the Suns uniform. But after listening to that guy and other guys speaking about that kind of injury, I'm more optimistic about that, and I think maybe Bradley Beal will come, maybe not at full strength, but quite strong. I mean, like, maybe the baseline could be the level of play he had last year. He was a 23, 24 points a game player, and with 5 assists. So I think he can get there. He can be on the same level as he was, I think, last year, as soon as he come back. And if he does that, if he's a 20 plus points player with 4 5 assists and a little bit of defense, he has to show up on that side of the court. I think we will be very difficult to defend as a team. So I'm one of those optimistic people who think that we will get to see the big three pretty soon. I think it's next week. We may be the three of them on the court, or the week after, but it should come pretty soon. And I think it will be very good. I think these three players can really complement themselves pretty well, even if there's not a real, let's say, native creator among them three, but they have that side. They can play on and off the ball. Especially Booker, who's the best of them with the ball in his hands. But I think that Bradley Beal is no slouch, and yeah, I'm eager to see it. And I think that I usually divide the season in 3 parts. So, like Monty Williams used to say, but I even thought that way because before Monty Williams spoke like that last year or a few years back, to divide the season in 3 parts, 27 games mostly. And the first part is like the plane that takes off. So that's those 27 games. We're almost there. And then there's the flight, and then there's the landing of that plane, and the landing must be on the playoff I don't know how to say road. That
I don't know. All I heard was try to
you
get to
didn't
the
know.
other side of hard, and I don't think we ever got to the other side of hard. But Monty, he's definitely there right
Nice.
now. He's lost like 20 games in a row, so
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if we should be using his sayings here when he's going through that.
yeah.
We have to acknowledge the era that Monty was with us. It was a nice era. There was a lot of awesome things to remember about that time.
Absolutely. And it sounds like Hisham's eager to see the big three back. He's getting a little more optimistic. Hamo, how are you feeling? Are you starting to get optimistic, or are you just concerned?
I've always been optimistic and concerned.
Okay.
I got in trouble a few weeks back from another podcaster, and I won't mention their name. There's no need to. But I said no, nothing like that. No beef, nothing.
Nope.
But I said, someone asked, it might have been on the Aussies, am I concerned? And I said, well, yeah, I'm concerned. I think any real fan should be. And I got absolutely bombarded with, oh, I'm not a real fan if I'm not concerned. Look,
I know who that pot stirrer is.
Let me reiterate what I'm getting at. Of course, I'm concerned. I'm always concerned. Even when we're winning, I'm concerned because I want the best for our team. I can see cracks. I can see things that we need to work on. I'm always going to be concerned. Always. However, extremely optimistic because I think this has just been one big game. This has just been like a setup this whole time.
It's been the Squid Game.
Yeah, I mean, like, Beal comes back just as KD went out. KD's looking like his ankle's buggered, or not buggered, just not great. He's going to go out. Bradley Beal's going to come in. We're not going to see them all until just before playoffs. And we're going to unleash the big three on the world. And the world ain't ready for it. It's not.
Izzy, I want you to let you know that buggered is definitely the King's English. We don't speak that in the land of the USA. That's
Knackered,
an Aussie English still.
Tired.
Buggered is ankle.
Buggered. Don't look up buggered.
I like that you put a neutral buggered.
Yeah. Buggered. Don't look up buggered.
Let me
It'll take you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Let me jump in because I know we're running up against the clock and we had
We're
more
having a good
quarters
time.
to go. No, I think to echo Hamo a little bit, yeah, worried a little, but confident, yes. So the early reports are that Bradley Beal is actually already practicing with the team, running up and down the court. They want him to string together another week or so of practices, is what Vogel had said. I've never had a back injury like Beal. I think I've certainly done stuff to my back that is bad. My father had 10 back surgeries, so apparently I think it's just in my bloodline at this point that we've got bad backs. But yeah, so it's I'm okay with him waiting another week or two because, Suns fans, it's so easy and we do this all the time. But yes, over the last 5 games we have gone 1-4, and it was unfortunate. That's a loss to the Kings last night, lost to the Lakers in the in-season tournament, and we lost to the defending champion Nuggets, and we also lost to the Toronto Raptors, who have, I feel like, 20 guys that are 7 feet tall and then playing the wings, and they're an interesting matchup. We did get one win in there, which was nice, but we got the win against the Grizzlies. But before that,
if we lost that, man, I'd be crying right now.
Well, exactly, and then I'd be a little bit more concerned. But before that, we went 7-0 over the last 7 games, and again without our full roster. So as we get closer, I'm not worried about Beal coming back super fast. If he needs another week, if he needs 2, if we got to wait till Christmas or after Christmas, okay. Get to 3 healthy,
as long as you need.
and then I do want to see them on the court and not wait till the playoffs to be like, all right, let's figure this thing out. They got to get some run, but I think what's good is that these moments now, we're 12-8. It's not a bad record, and that 7-0 run really helped us. And I'd be more concerned if we had if we were 8-12, then I'd be concerned. But right now, these are the growing pains that we knew. I mean, we had a huge roster turnover, a ton of new faces in the building. And I'll leave you guys on a disappointing note because I decided to pull it up. But Josh Okogie is actually shooting worse from 3 this year than last year. Last year, he was shooting a solid 33.5%. This year, 23.4 from 3.
Bring back Mask Okogie.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Nothing wrong
definitely
with
the
him. Just
best
put him on.
version.
Yeah, Master Tokogi was great last year. Remember in
Like
January,
Batman.
start of
Yep.
February, he was awesome. Awesome.
Absolutely. So let's give out some awards for the week. It was a frustrating week. So let's start off with kind of the bad side.
The sun in my disgrace, black hole sun.
Won't you go?
So the black
Wash
hole,
away.
it definitely is a banger and hard to get out of your head. But the black hole sun of the week, the sun in your disgrace. Hicham, do you have one? Who do you think that was?
The son I have in disgrace right now. Maybe I would shock some people, but I think that this week I have to hand it to Book. Yeah, he was pretty disappointing this week.
The
But
Lakers game for sure.
yeah, he hasn't been
That's
his
brave.
he hasn't been his real self. You can tell that it's not the playoff Book we recently witnessed, and he was in the continuation of his playoffs at the start of the season. But it's been a week or two, I don't know, a few games, handful of games. He's been overall bad according to his standards, his high standards. He has really, really high standards now. We are expecting 30 points from Book a night. We are almost expecting it now as a standard. And when he scores in the low 20s with a bad shooting percentage and 5, 6, 7, 8 turnovers, it's bad. It's bad. So I know he has to deal with double, triple teams, hacking, all that stuff. I won't put the whole blame on him, but he's been one of those Suns that really disappointed me this week. And then among the role players, I would say that Josh Okogie definitely, he's becoming unplayable. You can't have 4 guys against 5 on offense. You can't win NBA games like that. It's not possible. So if he doesn't bring his high energy on offensive boards, slashing, cutting, even if he's not shooting well, he can bring something. But even that, he didn't bring it. Neither this week nor the previous ones. So he's been a real disappointment to me lately.
He's been rough for sure, but I'm going to let Hamo go next because he always gets his answers stolen. So Hamo, who's your black hole son of the week this week, man?
Look, he showed some signs of life the other day. I'm sorry, it's Yuta.
Oh, okay.
It really is, and it's petty, I know, because he hasn't done enough to warrant this from me. But from where he was a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago to now, it's like, what the hell happened? This guy was supposed to come in and just drop, 3 or 4 3-pointers for us. He's flailing around everywhere on bloody defense like one of them crazy wavy inflatable tube men.
That's a good comparison.
He's just carrying on. Nah, man. There's 2 people on our trade block right now, and he's one of them.
Oh, okay.
Big call.
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Jake? Who's your black hole son?
I got to go back and pick on the new dad, Nasir Little. I don't know, man. Put the kid back in
He's
the womb
injured.
or something.
You said you can't pick injured guys.
He did get injured, but even before he was injured, he was not doing well. Let's see. Against the Grizzlies, he had a solid 14 and a half minutes where he got 4 points. Against the Lakers, he had a, let's see here, solid 14 and a half minutes for 5 points. And then, he got concussed in the Kings game. So he was limited, I get that, to 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes where he scored nothing. Nasir was supposed to be kind of that guy we were going to develop that was going to, become maybe a 10-point a game kind of guy. And he had a good little run in that 7-game win streak. But it's not happening of late. So Nasir Little, ever since you become a dad, I'm waiting for that article to come out like it did for DA when he became a dad. It's like, oh, ever since he became a dad, he stays up late and plays NBA 2K and doesn't sleep. That's why he's struggling. I'm waiting for the article to come out that's like, Nasir Little not sleeping at all. That is why he's struggling.
Being a parent doesn't make you sleep.
Facts.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you this, with an
kids,
NBA
man,
salary, you got to hire somebody to come in and watch your kid for 8 hours at some point so you can
an au pair or something.
Yeah.
He needs that BDE, Big Dad Energy.
I just wondered where we're going with that. Yeah.
Well done.
We're going to make this, a nice 4 different answers here. I'm going to go with Keita Bates Diop. He got the start last night. He played 17 minutes. He had 5 points. He was completely invisible out there. And the biggest thing was Frank turned to Mezzi and Utah and played those guys more minutes and more down the stretch than KBD. So we thought this guy might be a starter at the beginning of the year, and he's just not showing it.
He's the other one on the trade block.
Oh, okay. Nice. There you go. But,
got a solid minimum contract out there for you, folks. Come on down.
Hell yes. You got 2. You can take them. We'll take a Snickers bar and a big gulp.
Bring back Big Sauce Allen Williams.
Nice.
Yeah.
And even in a frustrating week, we've got to give out the Sunwalker.
Might as well be walking on the sun.
So the player of the week, the Sunwalker, Hicham, who would that be for you?
Obviously, it's Amore Stoudemire. I'll give it to Amore. No, just kidding.
There you go. Good choice.
Yeah, I miss those dunks. I miss that guy. Yeah. So my Sunwalker of the week. It's pretty hard because there haven't really been a player who's shown up in both games.
Very hard.
Grayson Allen was good against the Lakers. He didn't play yesterday. KD was so against the Lakers, and he didn't play yesterday. Maybe, I don't know. I think that Eric Gordon and Yusuf Nurkic were
just pick one. We don't want to steal everybody's answer.
Just one. Okay, just one. So I say
you won't get mine.
Okay. I will say okay. Eric Gordon has been the guy who's shown up the best this week, in my opinion, based on what I expect from him.
He certainly was hot in the first half last night. Good choice. So, Jake, what about you?
Ooh, well, allow me to come back and smack down my man Izzy, because I'm going with the Devin Booker is the absolute best this week. And again, let me just read out a couple of quick stat lines here for you, and I'll explain real quick as well. But Devin Booker, 34 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists against the Grizzlies. Against the Lakers, inefficient, but 21 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. And against the Kings, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, to back up what Izzy's saying, he's a star. He's got to do the most. I would say that's just about as fantastic of a stat line over the last 3 games as you could get. I get we want to have him shoot better. But, man, I mean, you give any other team that kind of production from one of your players, and they're winning 9 times out of 10. So, to me, Devin Booker, and granted, it was a tough one because we didn't have a lot of guys play great for 3 games. So that's where it was challenging. We didn't have everyone play all 3 games either. But he stood out to me. Devin Booker is I want him to do better, but he did the best of a tough week.
To my defense, I have to say that I didn't take into consideration the game against the Grizzlies because he was really, really good. he had that D-book game, that typical D-book game, 30 plus, 7 assists, or I don't remember the exact stat line, but I know that he was really good in that game and led the team to the victory. So yeah, I didn't count it. I thought that
No
you
No
were,
worries.
takesy backsies, is he? We
yeah,
got you covered.
I thought you were speaking about the games we had this week from Monday to now. So I was thinking
Yeah, that's
Monday
fair.
to now.
Since
But
we last recorded Saturday morning, we did have that Saturday night. You're right. That was fair to forget that one.
otherwise, I would have answered as you did right now, because overall, we can say that D-Book was the best player of the team throughout the whole week, for sure. He's our star, and he hasn't disappointed against the Grizzlies. He did what he could against a pretty harsh Lakers defense on Tuesday, and yesterday he had a pretty decent first half, if I remember correctly, and the second half was, yeah, another story. But yeah, overall, for sure, if we include the Grizzlies game, I'm with you on that one, and would say that D-Book is our best player for the week for sure.
Yeah, and I've already forgotten that Grizzlies game like 5 times. It's just ancient history at this point. But Hamo, you said we weren't going to get your pick, so what is it, sir?
Glasses come off.
Oh
No,
boy, here
I
we
can't
go.
see. That's the problem. Just give him a quick clean. We're only 11 episodes into this joint venture of ours, gentlemen. So I'm just asking for a little bit of expansion. Does it have to be a player?
Mm-mm.
No, not necessarily.
Fair point.
Excellent.
Continue.
DJ Chris Vila for sampling Steve Kerr whinging about the sound into the halftime show.
I thought that was just a meme. Did that actually happen?
No, that I was watching it live, bro. That was
Oh my God.
incredible. He took
Was that the halftime show last night?
It sounds like, yeah, it sounds like a
God,
nightclub,
I
and
did
he's
get that.
sampling that in. It's
Mm.
on Twitter. It's everywhere. It's on.
I totally thought that was a Twitter creation.
No. That was 100% legit. I was watching it live, and I'm like, am I tripping? What the hell's going on here?
I'll be
club.
honest, I
It's a
usually
club.
skip the halftime shows because it's usually like some guy juggling and has like a dog on top of a plate
Yeah.
while he's on top of a bicycle. And I'm always really impressed because I know I could never, and if I even tried hard, get close to something like that. But you're right.
Yeah.
I was kind of like moving and grooving as I was listening to the halftime show last night.
Dude, it was awesome, and to have the presence of mind to excite the fans, like to know that that's going to get the fans going. Like, you know, this is important to us, man. It's DJ at DJ Chris Vila on Twitter. But yeah, that was incredible last night, man. It was just fun. That was awesome, and that's probably the best thing I've seen come out of the Suns this week.
I'm gonna have to watch that again now that I know that it actually was real. But
I'll send it to you, brother.
Awesome, thanks. And again, we're gonna go with 4 different answers because I'm gonna go with Kevin Durant for sure. You know, this guy shot 22 for 31 this week. That's a really high percentage. He averaged 29 points a game. He fought through the injury and finished that game against the Lakers. And you know, it's not his fault that he had to miss last night. They want to be cautious and let him get some rest and, you know, be healthy for the future. Kevin Durant, he could barely miss. So Kevin Durant is my Sunwalker of the week.
The only reason I knocked him was
Much
because
better than mine.
the best ability is availability. But you're right, he has been scorching. In fact, if he played out the rest of the season the way he's playing, he'd have the second highest points per game average, I think, at 31 points per game, second highest in his career, which is just, I mean, we were hoping for a very good Kevin Durant. I don't know if we were thinking we were still going to get that elite prime Kevin Durant, and he's really still showing flashes of it.
Yeah, like Hicham said earlier, you know, we weren't sure if Kevin Durant would come back from his Achilles and all his injuries and be that guy, and he really has been. You know, he's been leading us along with Booker, and it's been amazing. But you know, we wanted to have a little Q&A with Hicham and try to get to know him a little better.
Hell yeah.
So Hicham, you said you're in Paris, correct?
Yes, correct, sir. Living in Paris. Paris.
Paris, absolutely. You know,
Now, is there there's still a rat problem in Paris?
Oh,
'Cause
there's
I've heard
always
that.
been
What about the bed bugs?
in
Oh,
Paris.
the bed bugs. That's right. The bed bugs.
I think that's a big problem for any big city in the world.
I think so,
after
yeah.
New York. Yeah, so yeah.
Our English fans will put it in the chat, though, if they'll be like, London is doing just fine without the rats.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Matt to pop up.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can trust them on that one. I think,
No, World War
The
II.
ancient rivalry.
yeah, I think they're lying.
Well, Izzy, talk to us. You said there's a big Suns fandom, or at least for sure a big NBA fandom. You're one of the co-hosts of the Valley Oop podcast. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the podcast, how you got started, and what's the Suns scene? And I think what isn't the international, like the international basketball is going to be in Paris next summer, right?
Yes.
So we got a lot of stuff coming up.
The Olympics, isn't it?
Yeah, the Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to deal with the rats and the bed bugs and the cheese and the wine. And no wonder Kevin Durant wants to go. He's going to have a good old time.
Yeah. I have to speak. Let's make a tangent about the Olympics, and then I revert to the fandom part of the question. About the Olympics, know that, unfortunately, the games will take place in Lille. Lille is a city north of Paris, like something like maybe, I don't know, 150 or 200 miles from Paris. North.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's a shame. It's a real shame. I'm ashamed of it, because basketball is one of the stars in terms of collective sports in the Olympics since the Dream Team. And even before that, there had been some Olympics basketball campaigns, memorable ones, like those duels between US and Russia when it was USSR, and many stories about international basketball even before the Dream Team, with Yugoslavia or other countries. And unfortunately, they haven't given basketball the place it should have in the Olympics, and I feel very ashamed about that. So that's one thing. And I blame those stupid people running things in France, the mayor of Paris, in the first place. She's a despicable person. I mean, she's really stupid as hell. And
that's the one thing I really appreciate about the French, is that I had also spoke with Gregoire, and one of the very first questions he had for me was about American politics. The French love a good political discussion. We don't have to dive deeper, but I do appreciate the shout out for the mayor's system.
Ones that are here. The stupidest ones, they're here.
Okay, so we should never take offense when the French are like, your leaders are horrible, because they're saying, I mean, not as bad as ours, but they're really bad.
Oh man, we have the worst. But in any case, the Olympics, we'll see how far it will get, the organization, and how things will take place. But I'm not very optimistic about that, because when I look at what they did to basketball, I think that those people are just stupid. They rather have badminton played in big stadium like Bercy in Paris. For
badminton?
Who plays?
Really?
Who watches? And who wants badminton more than basketball? I mean,
who wakes up in the morning and goes, I can't wait today, badminton day.
I like a good badminton game from time to time, but not as much as basketball. And to revert.
Emma loves it too, because he gets to slap the cock, right? The shuttlecock.
Oh, I love a good.
So Keith got a little nervous there. He was wondering if I was going to land that plane. The shuttlecock. You got to hit the shuttlecock over the net.
I love a good shuttle slap.
Yeah, badminton is like the middle school favorite sports of
like volleyball.
Yeah, like volleyball and stuff like that. But yeah, they did they did basketball wrong, really. And so yeah, and to revert to Suns fandom, I would say that the feeling I have is that the fan base has grown bigger and bigger since the
Elliot
2021
Kobe.
finals playoff campaign. It feels like what the Warriors had 10 years ago in 2014-15 when they had that first finals campaign. It feels like the same. A lot more fans, let's say true, many casuals for sure, guys who don't know anything about basketball, but the less they know, the more they want to teach you. So
For sure.
we have lots of them too. A lot of really, really, really knowledgeable and pretty interesting people talking basketball in general, and sometimes Suns in particular. But let's say that there are some really good basketball minds here in France, talking French and doing podcasts or really writing articles, tweeting stats and analysis, and giving people some food to thought. Food to thought, you said?
Food for
Food
thought.
for thought.
Food for
Very
thought.
good. Very good.
So yeah, and people playing basketball, you see it everywhere nowadays. I mean, everywhere, young people and older people like me too. Sometimes they play basketball everywhere. It's time. It starts to look like soccer in a way. Like
So,
yeah.
so if we were if we were looking to find the go-to people for Suns in France, that's yourself.
In terms of pods, I don't know any other pod dedicated to the Suns.
We're speaking to the face of France Suns basketball people.
I wouldn't have that pretension to be representing.
You don't have to, man. I just did it for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate. But yeah, we launched that pod in December 2020 with Julien Mauplat, who he was handling lately the Suns FR, what we can call Suns FR or Hawks FR or anything like that. It's like the official Twitter account dedicated to an NBA team. So there are 30 of them, and then there are others also. So there was that guy. We were together in the first place 3 years ago, and after a year or so, something like that, we've been handling that with my man Rodolphe de Sauve, and Grégoire joined us a few months ago, and he's great. Rodolphe and Grégoire are both great guys. They know their basketball and they really put the hard work. I'm not the hardest worker of the team. I have to admit that. I have to say
I'm with you.
Okay, join the team. I must say that I have to deal with a lot in my everyday professional life and personal life. So I try to do my best on my part, but these guys are just great. I invite you to follow them, follow us at Valley Hoop, like it's written on the little brackets besides my name. And yeah, so we had that value pod before the value itself because it
No
came,
kidding.
Wow.
it came
So they stole it from you guys.
Ahead of the
they stole it
curve.
from us. They stole it from us. I have to
Damn
ask,
America stealing everything off France.
I have to ask.
We just adopt the best of it all.
Hey, it's all right. We steal everything. We're convicts. That's what we do.
But the ones who do the greatest are those who I don't know if I translate it well, but anyway, the guys who do it do it best are the guys who no, how do you say? The guys who succeed the most are the guys who copy the best. Sounds anyway.
So you've got like a French version of Skip Bayless over there, or something like that. Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But
Let's skip.
better be
Yes.
better be a good copier, if you can say that, than a creator. Anyway, so
Well, you know what we used to say this all the time in the corporate world where I work, which is you're not stealing from anyone; you're borrowing their brilliance.
yeah,
Give it right back.
yeah.
In
There you
the
go.
world of social media, I mean, everything's up for grabs.
If you want to
For
be
sure.
good, if you want to be good, better copy the best and be a sponge and just take the best ideas out there and yeah, take them and make it yours. I mean, that's the game, and that's how the people who
That's it.
succeeded.
One of the best in our chat is Gio, and he's asking, has the
Yeah,
Wimby
alright.
factor made much of a difference in France? What do you think?
I think that's the biggest factor in France, and we have to get way back. We have to talk about Tariq Abdul Wahad, previously known as Olivier Saint-Jean. So he was the first French player. He was not the first French player drafted, because I think that before him there was that guy Hervé Dubuisson, who was quite a good. He was a great player.
So Tony Parker wasn't the first.
No. It's not Tony Parker. There was Hervé Dubuisson who was drafted, if I'm correct, but he never played in the NBA, like Sabonis, but without the end of career part within the NBA. And then there was Tariq Abdul Wahad, so also known as Olivier Saint-Jean, before he converted to Islam. So he was. If you've known him, I don't know if you've known him, but he was a player with the Sacramento Kings in the late.
It sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, in the late 90s and early 2000s, he played with Kendall Gill and Mike Bibby. He also
that Sacramento Kings team was like the international team for a while. Like they had, the Vlade Divac. They had Peja Stojakovic. They had who's the guy that played for Hito Turkoglu for a while.
Yes,
they had Scott Pollard, and I think he might have been an alien.
Yes.
And Sam Cassell, also I think he's from another planet. They had people from all over the world, and they were putting together really impressive play.
Yes, and
again, getting screwed by the Lakers.
Yeah, they have that in common with us, getting screwed by the Lakers most of the time.
Do the French blame Rudy Gobert for shutting down the NBA?
Good question.
What was the question? Sorry.
Do the French blame Rudy Gobert for shutting down the NBA with COVID?
When he spread the COVID on the mics.
Yeah. Well,
Defensive Player of the Year, and he couldn't stop the flu.
Yeah, in hindsight, we know that it was unfair to criticize him about the whole thing. But he symbolically, it was stupid on his part for sure to do that at that moment in front of these reporters and to do it like he did, taking it lightly. It was idiotic, but
he didn't know
he's
what
not
he was
immune
doing.
to stupidity. It happens to him time to time. I think he's more intelligent as people would depict him, and he's not the. I think that he has a bad image, even in France sometimes, and I think there's something unfair about it. I'm not a big Rudy Gobert fan in terms of play, his game, and
the Stifle Tower.
Yeah, the Stifle Tower. I'm not
his mom doesn't like
fan of his, but I respect his game. He does the best with what he has in terms.
He's not a bad player, man. He's not a bad player.
Yeah, he's not a bad player. He's raw. He doesn't have any offensive.
Can't fight.
I think Wolves are still number one right now.
Yeah, but we can see that Minnesota is doing pretty well, and everybody, me first, were burying them last year after that horrible trade they did. I still think it's a horrible trade.
It's the worst
But
trade in the history of the NBA.
yeah, I think it's one of the worst for sure. And but even then, when we look at their record right now, they made the playoffs last year. So I would say that he's doing his part. Actually, he's doing his part. So to revert to the initial question, I would say that yeah, there was that movement initiated by Olivier Saint-Jean back in the 90s, and then Tony Parker, of course, is the first French player with impact. And I think personally that Tony Parker is one of the best little guys in the paint. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
that
God, don't
guy.
remind me.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've got
We saw enough
PTSD.
of that. Yeah, over the years.
he was a nightmare to people handling the paint on defense. And he was small. He's like what 6'1", 6'2" at most on good days. But he was slim, so not that big dude who can force his way to the rim and with high verticality and athleticism, but so much IQ and very shifty player and very quick. I saw him live. I saw him live a few times, and it felt like that guy. He's not running. He's like on a skateboard, and he slides. He
He's on
slides, and
skates.
He was able to slide right into his teammate's wife's lap. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Hey-o.
Hey-yo.
He did that too. He
Yeah.
did that too.
But hey, I
And-
mean, he's French, right? That's kind of more of a French thing. The mistress, the wife. You know, it's
Ah.
Americans just aren't accustomed to that yet.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know where you come
His
from.
wife might be in the background, man. Give him a break.
I think
Oh yeah, sure.
I think it's everywhere.
Or the
but
mistress.
yeah.
Well, speaking of the French,
And
Hicham, why don't you just give us a quick taste for any French listeners out there, and for us, because we do love the French accent and language. Why don't you just say something real quick in French about the Suns, and then just give us a quick English translation?
oh, for sure. I would say, je vais dire quelque chose. Victor Wembanyama va devenir le meilleur joueur du monde d'ici peu. So it means Victor Wembanyama will soon be the best player in the world. And I
Ooh,
really think he will. I really think he will. For many reasons.
he got over 20 and 20 the other night, right? For youngest
I'd
player to
take
ever
my
get
hat
over
off and
20
eat
and
it.
20.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
see that.
And I think that what we see is really like just the beginning. It's like he's scratching the surface.
Camo doesn't like it. He's
Oh, yeah.
holding up poop emoji
There's
figures.
enough tall, skinny dudes, man.
Yeah,
Do
no,
we really got to run through the Spurs again for the next 10 years? I can't
Yes.
take this.
yes, I think that he's gonna be.
You're going to get number one pick
pain.
next year, too.
He's gonna be. A real
Oh my
pain
God,
for
that's right. They might get another number one pick.
Yeah. They really locked into those first picks like Robinson, Duncan.
They're
No
a
one
smart
can-
team, man. They've always
No.
been a smart team.
Go
Yeah,
Monty, go Detroit, lose every single game. Let's go. Number one pick.
yeah.
Well, Izzy, I got to ask you real quick too, because I know we're already a little over time. But so why did you become a Phoenix Suns fan? What pulled you to the
Great
a
question.
dry desert in Arizona that has never won a title? I mean, that's the question I certainly get all the time. Not being
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Good
Never
question.
been to Phoenix, never been to Arizona, never been to US yet. I hope to do that in the
2025, man, come over for the finals. I'll be there for my 40th.
yeah, okay, we'll meet there. Hopefully. I hope so. So yeah,
for when we're repeating the championship run,
Yeah.
because we'll win
Yes.
this year too. Yeah.
Second in a
come-
row.
I'll come
Straight
back.
up.
And I'll come back for sure. How did I become a Suns fan? My first NBA game on TV, Canal Plus. Shout out to George Eddy, who's very famous and
Heard the name.
commentator here in France. He's the face of the NBA in France. He used to be for many years. and before being Sport took over 10 years ago, something like that. So yeah, I watched my first NBA game, and it was Chicago Bulls versus Phoenix Suns, game 6. So that's that.
Oh.
This game 6 was my first NBA game ever.
John Paxson.
Wait,
Yeah.
oh, in 90,
Come on.
whoa.
Yeah.
How old, can I ask you, Izzy, how old are you?
At that time, I'm exactly 15. So
Okay.
I'm from
God, look at it. He's got that young man's face on. What's happening? I got
I
to
thought
slow
he's
down
younger
on the
than me, for
stogies.
sure.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need some secrets here on how to stay young. How to look good.
Red wine and a block
Snails.
of cheese and snails. Snails is the
yeah,
key.
red wine and a lot of girls.
You ever seen an
and,
old-looking snail? No,
What?
they all look the same age.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, his name is Boyd.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're all in our 40s around here. Yeah. Okay, great.
I'm
Most
38.
of us.
You don't look it. I would have guessed mid-30s.
Jake's younger than me too, I think, aren't you,
Thank you.
Jake? You're only 36 or
36,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. My wife's family, they couldn't believe it when I told them my age before I married her a few years ago. So yeah.
What does your mistress's family think? Nope. Sorry, it's towards the end of the show, and it's I've had some of the red wine that you guys serve over there, so damn.
I can tell that. I can tell that. So
I
yeah,
definitely need to get some of that wine. I don't know about the stales. We might have to let those go by, but give me some of that wine.
They're so good. They're so good.
Slowly.
Let's do a quick preview of the week before we get out of here. So we've got 3 games this week, all at home. Tuesday, we have the Warriors coming back in. I don't know if Scott Foster will be there or not.
If they are, bet the Suns.
oh,
Wednesday, we've got Mikhail and Cam coming in with the Nets. And then Friday, we've got the Knicks coming in and see if they can get back on us for that game winner in Madison Square Garden. Hicham, what do you think about the games upcoming this week? We going to run the table, or are you concerned?
I think we can run the table. We can. Those are games we can win. Will we have our big 3 together? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe not yet, but at least if we have 2 of them, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, should be good. We should beat these teams. The Knicks are good, but not great. The Nets are okay, but they're far from great. So we have to deal with Mikal Bridges' revenge game, maybe, and Cam Johnson. So we love our guys and always will.
The Twins.
The Twins. Even if they may hurt us, we will always have a soft spot for our guys. And but I think that KD should have a great game against Brooklyn for sure. I guess he will.
Hopefully he's back by then.
Yeah, and New York is always a good matchup for the Suns. Not always like in we have their numbers, but I think we beat them more often than not. And they've been a good matchup for us. So I think we can win both those games. And the first one is against can you
The
tell me?
Warriors.
The Warriors.
Mhm.
The Warriors without no. Do I say something wrong? Do Stephen Curry play? Has
Is
he
he
played
hurt?
last game?
Last time I checked, he was. Did he get hurt again?
I don't
Camo,
know.
help us
He
out
was
here.
on the bench. He was on the bench yesterday, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Hmm.
Okay.
That would make a big difference
If
for
not,
sure.
he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't finish out the game. Put it that way.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
I
see
think-
if he plays.
All good teams that we can handle if we play our A game. If we play our C game, we will lose all these 3 games, all 3. But if we play our A game, I think we can definitely take at least 2 out of 3 and maybe 3 games. And hopefully we do so, because right now the record is at 12-10, if I'm correct, or
That's
12.
it.
Yeah, 12-10. So we have to rack up these wins before we get to the big boys.
All right, Jake,
right.
what do you think? Are we going to win some games here?
Yes, so absolutely. I think these are very winnable games. As he was getting to Warriors, Nets, Knicks. None of these are the Grizzlies, so they're all going to be competitive. But I expect to run the tables. All three are at home. I expect most of our guys to play, and then I'm actually going to stretch it out. And I know we'll talk, of course, next week on it. But then we play the Wizards at home, Portland in Portland, and then we've got the Kings again exactly 2 weeks from last night. I'm going to make a bold prediction right now and say Bradley Beal's back for that game, and we will go to look to run for a 6-0 over the last 6. So I'm predicting 3-0 for this week. We certainly can pull it off. Let's get it done.
Revenge game against his old team, the Wizards, would be nice. But Hamo, are you as confident as Jake is? I think you're on mute or freezing up, Hamo.
He looks like he's freezing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's freezing up.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
there he
now
is.
he's moving.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Sorry, mate. Yeah. All right. Look, I only see one game being of any kind of concern this week, and that'd be the Warriors game. Other than that,
I just looked
York's
it
an
up too.
exciting
Chris
game.
Paul
It's-
is sick, and Gary Payton is out, but Curry is not listed on their injury report right now.
Okay.
So Scott Foster's got the week off.
Maybe.
Come on, Scott, we need you.
Come on, Scott.
Yeah, Scott, quick, come back, please. Never thought I'd say that. No, look, New York's an exciting game. I love watching New York play. I haven't watched a lot of Nets this season, but obviously a massive Mikhail stan, always will be. It was heartbreaking when we lost him. Look, I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay. You guys are definitely a little bit more confident than me. I've been thinking 1-2 this whole time. I think we'll probably get that Nets game. But, the Warriors and the Knicks, we just beat both of those teams recently, and they're going to be looking for revenge. And until we get all our guys healthy, I'm just not feeling good. I'm kind of in a bad place. This has been
There's nothing wrong with that.
This has been some good therapy.
This
for me,
podcast is sponsored by Hello. What's that? What's that? Every podcast I feel like does the virtual therapy deal, and be sure to talk to mental health counseling if you are having trouble. Reach out to somebody. Sons are going to be okay though.
Yeah, many people need that these days.
That's right.
Many people here in France, many Suns fans need.
Well, especially with the mayor of Paris, right, causing it all.
Oh man, don't speak about her because
I'm getting them fired up here.
We'll
it's
see. That's a
Incoming political podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. But whether we stack some wins here or not, we're going to have to get out of here. So, Hicham, why don't you just give us final comments and tell us where we can find you in the pod again on Twitter and everything.
So on Twitter, I'm at easy_19. That's my Twitter handle, and I'm part of the @Valley_Hoop podcast. It's in French. We speak French and French only. Sorry for English
Do
speaking
not
people.
apologize for speaking your language, brother. Please don't.
How
Do
dare
not.
you?
That's not fair, man. Do not apologize.
Yeah, we were that close to have French being the official spoken language in the United States. So,
really?
Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Little thing I have to say besides basketball, but we were that close to have French as the official language.
Too bad we got stuck with this backwards English.
Yeah, or maybe it's better for you guys because French is a really nice language, very beautiful language, but I have to admit that it's a little bit hard to learn. English is an instinctive language. It's more fluid. It's practical, and a very beautiful language for sure. Italian too, and Spanish or whatever.
That's the first I've ever heard about the English language.
That's
language.
I never heard it's been easy, but that's good, man.
Yeah, and one thing I have to say, it's not basketball related too, but my original country is the first country in the world that did recognize the US as a country, Morocco. So
Morocco, right?
Morocco,
yeah,
nice. Yeah.
Morocco. So that's something I'm pretty proud of, the way Morocco handles itself in terms of international politics and the relationship it has with many countries, and one of them is the United States, with which it has a pretty good relationship in general. So that's a source of pride. And yeah, besides that, find my men, two guys from the Value Pod. You have at Rod, like Rodolphe, but Rod, ROD, Desauve, DESSEAUVE on Twitter. And Grégoire, I'm sorry I didn't remember your Twitter handle, but I think it's at
Gregoire
Grégoire.
MBV.
Yeah,
You can tweet it
exactly.
out.
Thank you to help me on that one. He's great. He's writing for Le Roster. So like you guys working with ASAP Sports, we have Le Roster in French. So these guys, they speak about all the teams NBA, all things NBA. They have pretty good stuff on their websites and Twitter and podcasts and all. So Grégoire is working with them too, and doing a wonderful job with them. So give him a follow if you read French, like French, speak French. So go there. That's your spot for NBA thing in general, and Suns material in particular. So thank you very much, guys, for having me on your pod. So I'm becoming a regular of your work. I used to follow Fallen Founder with Dave when they used to pod together a while back.
Sun solar panel. That's right.
Yeah, on Solar Panel, and
True
I
fan,
missed
mate.
it. It was one of the best.
yeah, great stuff, great stuff. So that's where I got to know you, and love the way you think and speak things. Basketball and Suns. So thank you for that, Sanderus. It's been a few years now. We've got to talk and share lot of stuff, lot of Suns basketball ideas, and yeah, it's always been a pleasure to get to talk to you and share ideas with you. And Sir Imo, I'm, how do you say, discovering you? I don't know how to say.
Yeah, no one pays attention to me, bro. It's all good.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm only the only podcaster on 2 different podcasts a week. No, it's all good, bro.
Ammo
I'm
gets
seriously
around.
pretty new to Twitter anyway, so it's yeah. But no, it's
Yeah.
been an absolute pleasure to meet you, man. And
Yeah, real
this
pleasure.
is the whole idea of Suns Planner. Am I correct, guys? To experience what it's like for Suns fans around this globe.
Right.
And this has been awesome, dude. It's been super cool. I mean, not many people get excited about getting up at 4 a.m. on a Sunday to talk to a French fella about basketball. But this has been awesome. It really has,
It's
man.
been
So
awesome.
thank you.
Thank you, Sir Emo. So now we have that connection. So I will be very glad and happy to get to follow you and yeah, discuss with you and discuss with you guys. And
Hell yeah.
hopefully we have a great season. It's not too late, but I think these Suns still can make great things this season, but they have to wake up and get ready for the task, and it starts this week. So yeah, hopefully they do a great job from now on. We're all behind them.
Jake, what about you? Final thoughts?
Well, you can follow me at Fallen Founder on Twitter, of course. And yeah, I'll just, just kind of echo what Hamo said, the whole point of Suns Planet. There's a lot of Suns podcasts out there. We're glad you guys are stopping by and making us part of your week. But, I'm from Iowa. I'm from most people don't even know the state of Iowa in the United States. It's farmland out here for the most part. And Keith in California and Hamo in Australia. It just so happened that we were Suns fans and we thought, wait a minute, what if there's other Suns fans outside of the great state of Arizona? And so we're excited to always connect with them. We had the Brits on not too long ago. We've got folks from Spain that'll be joining us in the future. And we've had our good friend Izzy join us from France. So we're excited to kind of keep this thing going. You've always got friends all around the world, guys. And I see there's actually Suns podcasters in Uruguay and in Japan and all over the world. So we're going to be reaching out to you guys and, of course, all over the United States and kind of keeping this fandom going, because one of the big knocks we always had is, why doesn't the national sports media pay more attention to the Suns? Well, hey, we don't need them. We got each other, and that's the important thing. And so we've got a great shot at a great year. I think we're going to keep it going. Look for a good week. And so I'll say have a good night tonight, France. Don't party too hard. Good night, Australia. And good morning, Al McCoy.
Goodbye, guys.
Absolutely. And, please hit the thumbs up and give us a like. It will help us to bring you more content. And we are part of the All Sports, All Plays Network, ASAP. You can find them on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter by searching ASAP Sports Network. You can find me on Twitter at Sunderous Dunks. You can find the pod on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook by searching Suns Planet Podcast. We
and
do
Instagram
have
now.
Nice. That's great. And, let's just hope that we can stack some wins now and that Beal is back soon. And with that, Al, take us home.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Here's Perry. Cigar Hurd. Here's the jump shot. Good! It's good!
Al McCoy with you courtside. Pumped up a three.
Shazam! He ties it. ADA. Al and Tim up here.
Happy birthday!
Right. Yeah.
I know it's the moment. Happy birthday, baby!
Here's Cameron Payne out on top. Durant, three-pointer straight away.
Shazam! I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years.
That pretty much wraps things up here. And for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.